Chapter 37. Danielle crouched at the starting line. She stared at the track ahead of her, the silence and darkness the only witnesses to what she attempted. No one used the tracks on weekend, so no one stood by to cheer her on or berate her. She stood on her own. 10 laps. On this track, the same one she would use for her test, 10 laps equaled 2 miles. She only had to endure 10 laps. You can do this, Danielle, she said to herself. You trained for this. You can show everyone they were wrong about you. Make them sorry for underestimating you. Show them you're not useless. She took a deep breath. The starting buzzer went off. Danielle dashed down the track as fast as her legs could carry her. She rounded the first corner, then the second, then the third. Wind blew her hair back. As she rounded the last bend on the track to finish her first lap, she glanced up at the scoreboard. Each lap had to take less than 2 minutes. No. She jerked her eyes away from the screen. Focus on running. 1 lap down, then 2, then 3. On her 4th lap, she started to pant for breath. But she kept going. She had to. Push through, Danielle, push! 5th lap, 6th, 7th. Danielle gasped and wheezed. Her lungs ached. Her legs burned. Her heart pounded. Sweat poured down her brow. But she clenched her eyes shut and kept on. She needed to keep her feet moving. Come on, Danielle. Only a few more laps. I can't do this. She slowed down. I need a break. I need one. Does the little princess need a break? Alex's voice echoed through her mind. You can't do anything right. How useless. Danielle grit her teeth. I am not useless. She mustered her strength and forced her legs to keep moving. Nothing. No Alex, no Emil, no stupid grudged assassins would keep her from conquering this task. No one could ever tell her she couldn't do something. She rounded the corner and started her last lap. Only 4 corners to go. Now 3, now 2. Danielle headed down the straightaway to the finish line. She clamped her eyes shut and pumped her legs and arms. The timer went off. Danielle dropped to her knees past the finish line. She had done it. She had conquered the 2-mile track. A laugh jolted out of her body, and she collapsed on her back. I did it! I did it! Oh! Danielle punched and kicked her hands and feet in the air. Take that, Alex! You might want to look at the clock before you tell me what to take. Danielle pulled herself to a seat. She looked around for the owner of that voice. Up here. Danielle followed the voice. Above her, on the catwalk viewing deck, stood Alex, with Tajay behind her. He leaned on the railing and smiled that irritating grin. What are you doing here? Danielle pulled herself to her feet. Take a look at your time. Alex pointed to the scoreboard. Danielle followed his gaze. Her heart dropped to her toes. What? That can't be right. 28:57. She dropped to her knees. After all that work, after everything she'd been through, she still couldn't hit a sub-25 run. That time is not good enough, Danielle. Danielle clenched her teeth. Okay, fine. You're right about me. I am a useless little princess. Are you happy now? She swung around and marched to the door. Danielle! Alex's voice echoed off the walls. It reverberated back, seemingly louder and more powerful than Danielle had ever heard it. She froze mid-step. The way he had called her name, with such presence and majesty, reminded her of her father's voice. Your time wasn't fast enough, but did you notice? Alex paused. Danielle turned to him and saw him grinning. You didn't stop once. Danielle furrowed her brows. I don't understand your point. I need you on my team, Danielle. Alex crossed his arms over the railing. I can find a technical specialist anywhere, but you're the only one I've seen with such drive, tenacity, and determination. You have this stubborn streak about you that I like, but you also have this entitled mentality, as if you think the world owes you something, and you don't like taking direction. Anytime something doesn't go your way, you can always call in Daddy, am I right? Danielle stared at him. The way I treated you had nothing to do with what you did to Tajay. Truthfully, I don't care if you look at his records. If you had asked, we would have helped you search. Heck, I wouldn't even let you look into mine. I used what you did to push you until you had nothing left except your own determination. I did it because it's the only way you'd improve. You finished your race, and that time there, your improvement had nothing to do with me or Daddy or anyone taking it easy on you. You earned it, Danielle, and no one, especially not me, can ever take it away from you. Danielle lifted her eyes to the scoreboard. 28:57. She had not only completed 2 miles, but she had come within 4 minutes of the agency's goal in just under 3 months. Not bad. Not bad at all. Expect to see you for team training on Monday. Alex turned to the door. You've had enough of a break. He headed out. Tajay remained on the catwalk. Did you talk to him? Danielle called up to him once Alex had left. Tajay nodded. Thanks for sticking up for me, Tajay. Danielle smiled at him. Tajay grunted before walking out of the door. Danielle looked up at the scoreboard again. She had improved, but not enough. In order to get on Alex's team, she had to run it in under 25 minutes. Sub 20 if she wanted to rub Emil's face in it. But Danielle smiled at herself. She didn't really want to rub Emil's face in it anymore. All she wanted to do was to get on her team. Okay, Danielle, you can do this. Obnoxious or not, Alex seems to know what he's doing, and I have to trust him. She gazed at her hands. He's my captain, and I have to trust him. She opened and closed them before gazing up at the ceiling. Strange, she had never felt the desire to follow anyone else before. But Alex, in the few moments he had spoken to her, he instilled confidence in her. He believed in her. Danielle could learn to enjoy being on a team like that. But first she had to get onto it.